Okay, we shall continue.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, so I was telling you, bronchoconstriction is being resulted if an individual is exposed to the ozone molecules. Now, another one is the exposure of the individuals to hydrocarbons. These are certain class of compounds for which if the individuals are exposed, they may develop cancer. For example, smoking. We know that smoking is not for betterment of any sort of health for any individual, but however, people are continuously being having the habit of smoking. Rather than the active smokers, passive smokers are more prone for such type of cancer. Say, this is a file photo. You can see the tumors that are being developed here in an individual. And the individuals are developing varieties and varieties of cancer, due to this. And here, the individuals who are exposed to such type of smoking and other things, they are exposed for as many as more than 280 carcinogenic chemicals, cancer inducing chemicals. One cigarette smoke contains more than 280 plus carcinogenic or cancer inducing chemicals. So you just imagine how much of what we can say the pollutants, the air pollutants that we are releasing into the environment. As I earlier told you that rather than the active smokers, passive smokers are more prone. So if an individual is smoking and the persons who are sitting nearby, if they are inhaling these smoke, right, then they are more prone, more quick for getting this cancer. So that is why cancer is not for a betterment. Now, one incident I would like to share with you all that I've seen some of the individuals at the young age, they are continuously smoking. And here in Gangotri, I had seen in one nearby canteen, when a boy is smoking, the girls surrounding the boy, that means they will be always going for a cup of tea or coffee. So they were all sitting. So when a boy is smoking and give this smoke in the form of puffs or rings, everybody was enjoying and they were encouraging that boy to give more and more such type of puffs or rings of that smoke, and they were all inhaling. So continuously, if the individuals are inhaling the surrounding ladies, they are more prone for cancer rather than for any other type of diseases. So that I have seen among passive smokers as to how they have suffered. Now, passive smoke, that is smoking, if an individual is having, then they can relax very soon also. This is what the thing is. Now, passive smoking, that is what I am telling you. Even in a family, sometimes people try to dominate. Hey, nothing will happen. And they, you know it, in our Indian conditions, the gents try to dominate over the ladies, even during smoking, and they want to snub the children and the family. That should not have been done. But they are not aware of the fact that these passive smokers are more prone for such type of cancer than the active smoker, because in a cigarette, every part of the cigarette contains abundant carcinogenic chemicals or cancer inducing chemicals. So you are introducing all these chemicals into your surrounding environment when you burn it. So that is why one should not smoke. And I have seen a case of an individual, a lady, when she was conceived, so the fetus was having the cancer, the fetal cancer, it was having. And the doctor said that your developing child or the fetus is having the cancer, like, right, when it is in the womb of the mother. The mother, it seems, she has complained, no, I have got clean habits, I have got very good hygienic environment and all these things. When the case history of that individual was studied, she was a passive smoker. During her student days, she was a passive smoker. So that effect was seen when she is married and conceived. You look at here. For no fault of the fetus has to suffer because the mother was a passive smoker. So that is why I told you in the beginning, the duration of exposure, the concentration of the pollutant, isn't it? And the age of the individuals. So all these things will be counted. So if you smoke today doesn't mean that the next hour you are going to get cancer. No, it is not like that. So it is for how long you are going to be exposed, how long those constituents are going to be accumulated in your body, and what is your threshold, what is your resistance or immunity to nullify or neutralize or minimize the effect of all these chemical reactions in your body. So all these things will be counted. So that is why, so release of these carcinogenic chemicals into the environment through smoking is also dangerous. It may cause health hazard. Now, sulfur dioxide particulate matter, suppose you are going to expose. So what will happen? So we know that this sulfur dioxide is going to be given out through various industrial activities and other means. And when you inhale these particulate matters of sulfur dioxide, I am showing you here. This is the bronchi. So it will enter here. This is the windpipe or the branch of the windpipe. So normal way is that from here to here, you can see the easy flow of the air. But if the air is contaminated or polluted with sulfur dioxide, what happens is that the structure of these bronchi get altered. It becomes a zigzag like this here. You can see here that deformation of these bronchi is resulted. Plus the lining layer of this inner wall layer, inner lining layer of this pipe, wind pipe. So it has been inflamed, swollen, so that the passage is narrowed down here. You can see passage is narrowed down. So here, if you take the air from this end to this end, easily it will flow. But here, it has to move through in a zigzag fashion, plus with great difficulty, because there will be inflammation from the inner wall layers. So at every stage of the flow, it is obstructed for its further flow. Then with great pressure, you are going to apply or breathe in. So once again, the air will move. Once again, it will be obstructed. Once again, it will be moving. Once again, it will be obstructed. So at every stage for the flow of the air, there will be obstruction. There will be obstruction. Where it is taking place? Within the lungs. Where it is taking place? It is taking place within the lungs. So that is why, and this remains for a long period of time. So as long as this is there, the inflammation is there, the deposition of the sulfur dioxide particulate matters are there on the inner lining layers of the cells. So this will be prevailing. So that is why this disease or respiratory problem named as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Chronic means it remains for a long period of time. Obstructive, the flow of the air is obstructed. Pulmonary, within the lungs. So disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Very commonly you call it as asthma. So this is the second largest kind of disease among the world population and the third largest disease among the Indian population. So this is due to the exposure to sulfur dioxide. That's why you look at asthma patients when they go there for difficulty in breathing, the doctor will give them some medicated spray. So when they inhale that spray, the inflammation gets reduced. It tries to come in the normal way. So it gets reduced, during which they feel comfortable for what? Respiring or breathing. But after some period of time, if the dosage or the concentration of this particulate matter still prevails and inflammation once again continues, once again this is going to be resulted. So thus, this type of health hazard or pneumoconiosis, we call it as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And when the farmers are exposed to the dust particulate matter, the perforation of the lungs is going to be resulted when the dust particles get inside their lungs. Even lungs may get damaged, a slit in the lungs may be there like this. So when such altered structure of the lungs is going to be resulted, including damaging or perforations, etc. So if they cannot have a normal breathing. So such type of pneumoconiosis is generally referred to as farmer's lung disease. Now, in addition to this, we can also see carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, there are various such type of chemical substances that are being released due to the vehicular movements or the burning of the fossil fuels or burning of the firewood, etc., or due to industrial activities, but all of them are dangerous. Now, I would like to tell you that there is one type of pollution which we call it as cadmium pollution. Cadmium pollution. We know that this cadmium is being generally used even in batteries and in coating of plastics, etc. So, when this cadmium toxicity is there, when the people are exposed to such type of cadmium compounds, okay, which is even used in the telephone industries or telephone wires, manufacture of telephone wires, and even in the paints. So normally when you paint a house, so it gives you a smell. So you enter into a room which has been recently painted, you develop a smell, and that smell is due to the presence of this cadmium compounds. If you are exposed continuously for a long period of time to this type of cadmium, you may develop a disease called Itai disease. In Japan, it is called Itai disease. So Itai means very painful means. So it may cause the kidney damage also. Now, when people are affected with such type of Itai disease due to cadmium toxicity, so what happens is that the brittling of the bones is going to be resulted. The bones become very weak. So even you can just touch their hands or fingers or the affected party, it will be broken. It will be broken into bits. So that much of brittling of the bones is going to be resulted. And when they get such type of brittling of the bones and the bones become weaker, so they develop lot of pain in their legs and they feel of vomiting. Coughing. Please.
Bhartimat madam, please mute.
So they may become anemic. So ultimately it may lead to death. So thus cadmium poisoning is going to result in weakening and brittling of the bones. We should not expose. Most of us are not having this awareness. That is what I am trying to tell you, that as a common man. So whenever a newly constructed house, newly painted room or house, anything is there, don't expose yourself for a long period of time. Don't expose yourself and don't go frequently also. So leave that room or home for a complete aeration till the smell and other things go off. They are all made up of various vapors, like that vapor should go off through the circulation of air. So that way one should take care. Otherwise, these may be the symptoms. And all of us are aware of the fact that due to air pollution, Bhopal gas tragedy, methyl isocyanate gas. So when it has been leaked, so within 72 hours, we have seen how many people, more than 25,000 people were affected, 10,000 people died immediately. So during such industrial activities, many such, what we can say, due to air pollution, like methyl isocyanate gas, through many industries, we are seeing such emanation of such type of gaseous components. So look at this. The dead bodies were lined up during that Bhopal gas tragedy. They were finding difficulty even to bury the dead bodies. And wherever they used to dig the ground, they used to see these skulls of many such dead bodies. So even till today in Bhopal, the effect is prevailing. It has not been totally, that has been the air, the atmosphere has been cleaned up. But measures might have taken, but once they get deposited, these compounds, so they cannot easily go. And once if it gets accumulated due to inhalation in the body of the individuals, they will be having various organs. The reproductive system have been affected, the nervous system have been affected, and generation after generation they can see it because of certain mutations in their body, in their chromosomes, in their reproductive cells. So all these effects are due to air pollution. So the key health problems caused by air pollution very chiefly include the respiratory problem like pneumoconiosis of various kinds, asthma, cancer, even heart diseases, tuberculosis, birth defects. And I would like to give you an example here for tuberculosis. Now, you might have seen in your areas, whenever an individual is affected with tuberculosis, normally they are going to be kept in a room where there is proper circulation of the air, one thing. And second thing is that these severely affected patients with tuberculosis, they will be normally admitted to a hospital which is outside a place, at the outskirts of a place, like sanatorium and other things. And why it is so? Because this tuberculosis is a disease caused by a bacterium called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. It is Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacteria. It is a type of bacteria which is going to cause tuberculosis. Now, this bacteria multiplies when the condition of the air is warmer. When there is a warmer air, it keeps on multiplying and start eating away the tissues. You know that the individuals who are affected with tuberculosis, they will be having that, it gets into their lungs. Why most of the bacteria, including your corona virus, it is very safe in the lungs is because lungs provide a warmer condition. Lungs provide a warmer condition. That is why when you breathe in, right? So exhale or inhale, you see when the air is coming out, you will see a warmer condition of the air, isn't it? So from the lungs, you know it is a safer place. The most of the microorganism invade this and they multiply there. They find very comfortable home in the lungs. And that is why they start causing all these diseases. Suppose you are in a home or room, a visitor comes to your house, and he doesn't say, he or she, they don't claim that they are having tuberculosis. You invite them and they will be. And if it is a winter season, normally you do not open your windows and shutters because of cold weather. You keep all the shutters closed. So through the door, the guest will enter. You will invite him into a hall or a room. You will chat for some time and he will go off. You will once again close the door. So during that period of time, if the individual is a tuberculosis patient, so when he respires, he releases all the bacterium into that room or home. And if because you have closed all the shutters in your home or room, it creates a warmer condition. You have created a warmer condition. Why? To prevent yourself from the exposure to the cold condition of the winter season. So now, because your indoor environment is warmer, the bacteria keep on multiplying and increase in number. And if you inhale that air inside, you may be affected with the tuberculosis. So that's how the environment play an important role. The conditions of the environment and the pollutants, whether it is a living, if it is due to a microorganism, you call it as a biopollutant. It may be a physical pollutant, it may be a chemical pollutant, or it may be a biopollutant. So due to any of these pollutants, you are going to see the health hazards are going to be resulted. So I think we shall put a stop here for air pollution. Next, I will brief up the water pollution. Now, water is going to be contaminated by indiscriminate throwing of various, what we can say, the waste, debris, all matter which we don't like to into a water body. And we wash our hands saying that, oh, everything is cleaned up. But we are dumping all these things into our water body. We know that only 3% of the surface water is fresh water. And according to a report, more than 1/5 of the world population lack access to clean drinking water. And many people, when the water is going to be polluted, it is going to cause various waterborne diseases, including amoebiasis or diarrhea and all these things. 4 billion people every year are going to be suffering due to this. Okay. Now, It can kill. It has been reported that it is killing about 5 million people, including 6,000 children every year. More than 2 million children are killed by diarrheal disease each year, according to World Health Organization. And the importance of this water, we should know it. Demand for fresh water is increasing day by day. It may double in the next 30 years. So the world water demand, just it is a table for various purposes: irrigation, domestic, livestock, electricity generation. So more than 9,000 cubic kilometers of water is necessary for living. Now, this water pollution is going to be resulted from various sources. What are the sources of water pollution? We know that the discharge of the industrial effluents, the domestic sewage, the movement of boats and ships, all these will dump various types of waste into a water body. When all these things are being dumped into a water body, there will be various biochemical reactions, so to say, taking place in the water body, and there will be a depletion of oxygen. The oxygen content, dissolved oxygen, start getting decreased. If there is a decreased amount of oxygen, the aquatic organisms cannot survive. They cannot survive. That is number one. And number two, when these organisms, the aquatic organisms, die due to depletion of oxygen, they undergo decomposition. They give a bad smell. A foul odor is being given out. Even during the chemical reactions also, whenever there is the pollution due to oil or grease or greasy materials or soapy materials, so we can see a foul odor is going to be given out, which makes the water unfit for any usage, unfit for even drinking, domestic use, recreational purpose, or even for industrial purpose. Many times we have seen the domestic sewage or any such pollutants are being released into a water body. We can see the growth of, that is, all nutrients, like even the soaps and detergents, the washing of clothes, the washing of utensils, the washing of vehicles, the debris, the death and decay of many aquatic organisms. All these will release various types of nutrients, so into the water body. And small microorganisms, right, like algae. In Kannada we call it as pachi. So many such microorganisms or microalgae, they grow in abundance. They utilize these nutrients. They are small. They utilize these nutrients and keep on multiplying rapidly and increase in their number, and they form a green mat-like surface on the surface of water body. So these are called algal blooms. They are called algal blooms. So if there is the formation of algal blooms in a lake or a pool or a pond, it indicates that the water is highly polluted. It is highly polluted because of enrichment of nutrients that are being discharged from either industries or by domestic waste or by other man-made activities. So by that, if the water becomes highly nutrient rich, the organic matter that is going to be more and more in water body, it requires more and more oxygen, and that will be utilized for decomposition, decay, etc. So the amount of oxygen starts getting down or slowing down, or it will be depleted. So when that oxygen content is depleted, so the water is said to be eutrophicated. Eutrophicated water body. So if the water is eutrophicated, it indicates that the water pollution is on a high scale. Now, when that water body is eutrophicated, algal blooms means plenty, thousands and millions of these algae will be growing on the surface of this water body. So once again, this is not for a betterment. So this results in water pollution because these algae also will die. They add to the organic matter. So likewise, the nutrients keep on becoming rich and the growth of the microorganisms will be multiplying and there will be depletion of oxygen. Sometimes we use fertilizers. We know it, nitrogenous fertilizers. We use this into agricultural field, and even in the agricultural field, we are going to have a well for the purpose of watering the plants. And sometimes you drink the water also in the same from the same way. When the water is being used for irrigating the plants along with the fertilizers, so the water contaminated with nitrogenous compounds or nitrogenous fertilizers will be leached into a groundwater or even well water. Okay, and if you drink or contaminated water, if you drink that contaminated water rich in nitrogenous compound, you may get a disease. And that disease is called methemoglobinemia. It is called medically methemoglobinemia. So this disease may be resulted. Now what happens is that the water containing nitrate compounds enter into the bloodstream. So it combines with the hemoglobin. It combines with the hemoglobin. You know that in the blood you will be having hemoglobin, which will carry the oxygen, isn't it? So this hemoglobin is combined with what? Nitrogenous compound, and it forms another. It does not permit the carrying of oxygen. It does not allow the blood to get purified, so that it results in a type of blood which appears to be highly polluted with this nitrate compounds. And this is also commonly called blue baby syndrome. It is medically, it is called methemoglobinemia. So it is also called blue baby syndrome, wherein you will see the blueness around the mouth, hands, feet, etc. And when you are developing such type of things, you develop a symptom of vomiting, dysentery or diarrhea. All these things are going to be resulted. So if bluish nature is there around your mouth, hands, feet, etc. with vomiting and diarrhea, it is an indication that you are drinking or you have consumed the water contaminated with nitrate compounds. And how these nitrate compounds have entered into the water body? It is through fertilizers which have been washed down into water bodies. So that is how water pollution may be resulted. Now sometimes, especially in Japan, it has been resulted after a nuclear war, the mercury compounds are released into a bay, and that bay, name of the bay is Minamata Bay in Japan. So when this mercury compounds has entered into this bay, these mercury compounds are not degradable. They are not degradable. They are non-degradable, non-biodegradable, right, or non-degradable chemical substances. When these mercury compounds have been accumulated in the fishes of that bay, those fishes were consumed by the mankind. So the many people consume this what? Fishes which have been what? Accumulated with mercuric compounds. And when people ate those fishes, so they developed a disease called Minamata disease. The disease is named after that bay called Minamata Bay. So why this disease is resulted? It is because of the mercuric toxicity, mercuric poisoning. In other words, it is called mercuric poisoning. So this resulted in the crippling deformity. That means you can look at that photo. So losing of the shape of an organ or the bones or anything, you call it as the crippling deformity. So this crippling deformity, once it is resulted, right, it cannot be recovered, it cannot be cured. So such type of disease, you call it as Minamata disease. Till today, there is no medical remedial measure that has been discovered to cure this disease, that is the Minamata disease, which results due to the mercuric toxicity. That is why you can see whenever you go to a doctor, if you are having fever, the doctor will give thermometer, he will insert just below the tongue for an adult individual. But for a child, they will keep it in the armpit, because if you keep it on the below the tongue in a child may crush the thermometer, and the mercury compound which is there at the tip of the thermometer, you should get into the body. Once it gets into the body, it is very difficult to what? Recover it or make it exit. So that is why doctors will always keep the thermometers in the armpit of the young kids while measuring the temperature of the body. Okay. Now that's how these mercury compounds are dangerous. Now, another source by which water gets polluted is because of the discharge of various pesticides, right? You are going to paints, pesticides through water, through cleaning, washing, and various activities. You are going to keep all these things. And the paints and all these pesticides, most of the times they contain the lead. So lead poisoning is going to be resulted. That is why they say idols of Ganesha during Ganesha festival or some other means of what we can say idols, you should not immerse it in water because it gives out all these lead contents, and which may damage, which may affect your heart, bones, intestines, kidneys, and even the reproductive system. So when lead poisoning is going to be resulted, the individuals may develop severe headache, irritability for everything you feel of irritating yourself, and there will be a reduced sensation. Even if somebody pinches, you may not develop that feeling. And with that lead poisoning, your attitude will be changing. You show an aggressive behavior and you feel difficulty in sleeping. In addition to that, you will also develop abdominal pain, and you never feel of eating, a poor appetite, and constipation and anemic you will become. Additionally, in children, if they are being lead poisoned due to this water pollution, they may develop a loss of developmental skill, and their attention problem, behavior problem will be there. Even if you call the child, the child will be looking elsewhere. It will not look at you. It will not respond to you. It may develop hearing loss. Kidney may be damaged. A reduced IQ may be there. And even if you feed the child with lot of things, it may show a slowed body growth. So if all these additional symptoms are there, definitely we can draw a conclusion that the child is affected with lead poisoning. So this is how you can see the damage. It may damage any portion of the child and it may be resulted. Now, very commonly when the water is being polluted, you will see a disease called gastroenteritis. You may be resulted. Amoebiasis may be resulted. Okay. So, or dysentery is going to be resulted. It is due to a protozoa, a small animal. This is microscopic in size. Only through help of microscope you can make out. It is called Entomoeba histolytica. You can see this organism here. So if these things are going to be present in one tiny drop, hundreds and thousands of these Entomoeba histolytica, millions of these may be present. You imagine. That is why polluted water one should not drink until and unless it has been properly treated, and then you should use it. Now, similarly, there is another organism. This can also be seen with the help of a microscope. Such tiny organisms like Giardia may be resulted, like dysentery. So this also will cause diarrhea, abdominal pain, and all these things. So invariably it occurs in 60 to 90% of the patients, and this disease you call it as giardiasis. So water pollution is also due to various such type of even pollutants, and sometimes due to nuclear pollution during weapon testing, atomic power plants, nuclear waste, when they are all going to be dumped, many such chemical compounds may cause blood and bone cancer. Blood and bone cancer may be resulted. So many pesticides which is being run off, right? So pesticides, we normally apply these pesticides to kill the pests in the agricultural field. So after rainy season or after sprinkling of water, so these pesticides containing the chemicals may be leached or they may washed out into the soil. Sometimes may be washed into a water body. So when you consume all these things, it may cause either cancer or liver and kidney problems. So all these things will be resulted. So even for example, endosulfan is a banned one. It is a banned pesticide. In spite of that, it is being used in the places. Still in some areas of South Canara, North Canara and all these places, we are seeing endosulfan is being used, which is having a plenty of adverse effects. The toxicity of this is going to result, see, anomalous growth of the individual, disorders of the nervous system, so birth defects, all these things are going to be resulted if such type of what chemicals are being consumed, whether it is in traces or in what bulk. Okay, so sometimes the water that has been contaminated with arsenic, even if at all has been there on the soil also, it may cause hyperpigmentation or keratosis. It is called medically. So it is a blackfoot disease. Once this blackfoot disease is going to be resulted, so it cannot go back to normalcy because it has been what affected with this type of hyperpigmentation. Now, we are all aware of the fact that DDT is banned. DDT is banned. But in order to kill ants and other things, we apply DDT. Now, suppose this DDT is there in the water body. See, look at this. DDT is a chemical substance. So it is not biodegradable. So small plants, if you want to kill or something else like pachi or algae you want to kill, you apply this DDT. And that DDT is going to be utilized by some what plant eating animals, micro animals called zooplanktons. So if they eat, the DDT is not degradable. It gets accumulated in their body. And if these animals are eaten by small fishes, once again DDT concentration increases. And if the small fishes are eaten by large fishes, it will be once again accumulating predatory fishes. And if these predatory fishes are eaten by the fish eating birds, it will be accumulated. And if this is going to be eaten by man, it will be accumulated in man. So thus, in the food chain, some substances which are not what getting degraded and getting accumulated along the food chain as it passes through one living entity to another living entity, one organism to another organism, the concentration of those substances keep on increasing, which you call it as biomagnification. You call it as biomagnification or biological magnification. So that is going to be resulted. Now DDT concentration increase along the food chain. So that is not for a betterment. And fluoride pollution in most of the drier tracts of Karnataka, like in Raichur, Ballari, Kolar and Chitradurga, the groundwater is highly polluted with fluoride pollution. If such type of water contaminated with fluorine is utilized, it may result in two types of disease. It is called either dental fluorosis or skeletal fluorosis. Say, dental fluorosis, you can see mottling of the teeth, as if the tooth decay has been resulted, like mosaic color of the teeth is going to be seen there, black, brown, yellow, all these things. So this is called dental fluorosis. And if the skeleton or if the bones are going to be affected, it is called skeletal fluorosis. You can see this skeletal fluorosis. So this is due to the drinking or consumption of the water contaminated with fluorine. So this was for the first time reported in Andhra in 1930, and that was clinically recognized in 1937 by a scientist called Schrott. So one should not pollute the water even with such type of fluoride contents. So more than 486 million children suffer from tooth decay. Okay, it is due to fluoride pollution. So that is why one should give importance to this what water pollution. Now, after air and water pollution, we are also seeing noise pollution. Noise pollution is also another problem that we are facing at many places where there are too much of noise, which is above the normal decibel point. So 90 decibel is the threshold for a human being. Anything which is above that one, it causes headache, sometimes the damage to the ear, all these things are going to be resulted, because we know that the sound travels in the form of waves, and these waves, if at all they are going to enter into your tympanum or ear, okay, so it may damage your ear also, the membranes may be ruptured. So all these things are going to be resulted if there is too much of noise. So you can see both physiological, functional disorder and pathological disorder when you are going to expose yourself for more than 90 decibels of the noise. So that is called noise pollution and its health hazards. Now, the last one is the solid waste. So plenty of waste we are generating every year. Urban India produces more than 1,20,000 of municipal solid waste per day. And the metro cities produce about 30,000 tons of solid waste per day. So class 1 cities, 50,000 tons of solid waste per day. And where do you dispose these solid waste? Either we are going to dump it on the land surface, or we are going to what? Throw them indiscriminately in the water body. Only about 5% of the waste is being used for composting and other recycling process. So 94% you are dumping on the land surface. See, this will lead to the outbreak of many diseases. We know that the sources for solid waste generation, it may be the municipal waste, it may be the agricultural waste, industrial waste and mining waste, biomedical waste, e-waste. So India is now ranking number 1 in generation of e-waste. We are ranking number 1 in population, we are ranking number 1 in cattle population, we are ranking number 1 in the generation of the waste also, e-waste, especially. So all your mobiles, computers, so laptops, all these waste. And recycling of the e-waste is not so discovered to an effective manner till today. So once you generate the e-waste, these e-waste contains many toxic heavy metals, many toxic heavy metals. So both Chinese and Indian scientists are making lot of efforts to recycle these e-waste, but they are successful only up to segregation level. So recovery level of the various dangerous chemicals and other things, they could not still achieve it. As proper methodology has not yet been so far discovered or invented for an effective management of the e-waste. So e-waste are more dangerous now because the entire earth is being occupied already and occupying still by these e-waste. In addition to that, radioactive waste, radioactive substances, right, is being also another threat for the generation of these e-waste. Now, whenever these solid waste are going to be generated, what a normal person finds is that whether it is tire, tubes, plastics, or the branches of twigs, any tender parts or dried parts, everything you will make a heap of all these things and you will lit the fire. You will lit the fire. So by lighting the fire, you feel that everything will be burnt and converted into ashes. And when you burn all these things, it releases various dangerous chemicals into the environment also. And when such chemicals are being released into the environment, it is dangerous when you inhale. For example, burning releases furans, a chemical compound, group of chemical compound called furans. So if you are exposed to such furans frequently, it reduces the fertility of humans. That is the formation of gametes, male gametes or female gametes. So all these spermatogenesis or oogenesis, we say scientifically, formation of male and female gametes. So all these things are going to be affected. So that means you may become infertile. You may become infertile. So why you became infertile? Because you have been exposed yourself to the dangerous chemicals like furans. How that furans have entered? They entered when you have burnt these what? Solid waste, and you are sitting. Normally during winter season, we make a heap of all these twigs, branches, everything, and we lit the fire and we chali kasta kutkaltira. So when you inhale those smoke, you are inhaling the furans. Continuously, if you expose yourself, it is going to affect the fertility of the human beings. Even this has been tested with the rats also. There also you can see the reduced fertility. So thus pollutants, whether it is air pollutants or soil pollutants through pesticides or any such type of insecticides or water pollutants or noise pollution, it will affect all possible parts and causing various diseases. In addition to these things, in our day-to-day, the way in which our lifestyle also is leading to a lot of health hazards. It can also be considered as a sort of what we can say a lifestyle pollution. Lifestyle pollution. It is due to the mind pollution, your mindset. So water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, even though you can try to control it, this mind pollution cannot be controlled. Sometimes we use our brain thinking that we are the most superior individuals than anybody else. That way, in our lifestyle, how you can develop yourself pollution. If you go to a doctor and ask them, what is the worst possible type of disease in a human being, the immediate answer that one can give is about allergy. Allergy is the worst possible type of disease that a person come across. Now, this allergy, once it occurs, it remains almost till you die. Till you die. To that extent, it may cause allergy. So, the worst possible disease is allergy in a thing. So, it may be an allergy, especially it may be a skin allergy. Especially it may be a skin allergy. Any allergy that you develop on a skin, sorry, it is called dermatitis. It is called dermatitis medically. 1 minute. It is called dermatitis. Now, this allergy, it may be due to the usage of a soap, or it may be to the usage of a perfume, or a body cream, or a detergent, or anything. So, whatever that you use, so it may cause an allergy. Suppose you use a hair dye to make your white hairs into black hairs, the chemicals present in the hair dye may cause allergy. If it touches the skin, it may cause the allergy. So likewise, the nail polishes that you are going to apply, it may cause allergy. The cosmetics that you use may cause allergy. Sometimes even self-medication may also cause allergy among human beings. See, look at this young kid. So it is having some wound or something has taken place on her cheek. Somebody has told that you apply something, lime water you apply or soak that wound with lime water without consulting a doctor. So now you can see the entire allergy has been developed on its cheek. Now look at here. This individual using the tobacco. So when you use tobacco on your hand, you will squeeze it. When you squeeze it, both your hand, the finger through which you have squeezed it may be allergic. And when you are consuming, your lips and other things may become allergic. So these are all, any allergic disease that is related to the skin, you call it as contact dermatitis. Any allergy that you develop on your skin due to the contact of a substance, you call it as contact dermatitis. Contact dermatitis. Now here, due to tobacco used in various purposes for eating, so it has developed both on its index finger as well as on our lips. You can see even on the palm, it may become allergic. So that is another allergy. Sometimes you give your clothes to a dhobi for washing purposes. And when he collects cloths from various houses, to distinguish the cloths for a particular individual, he marked these cloths with a marking nut. This is called dhobi's marking nut. This marking on the cloth you call dhobi's marking nut. It is like a marker. Once he marks it, it will be there as a permanent marking on the cloth. And then he will go for washing, and he will wash the cloths, iron it, and give it back. And when he wear the cloth, and that region where he has marked, the skin may come in contact with that one, and you may develop allergy. and that allergy is due to that marking made on the cloth, which in turn is due to a marker that is obtained from a plant. That plant is called Semicarpus anacardium. It belongs to a family to which even mango also belongs. Okay, so this cashew nut belongs, not mango. So of course mango also belongs to same anacardiaceae. It is scientific name botanically. Now a tree is there. That tree is called Dobie's marking nut tree. From the seeds of that tree, you are going to take the nut, and the seeds will be used as a marker. This is being exclusively used by a Dobie. And look at now, it has given a permanent marking on your skin. So that is due to allergy. And it will not go off easily. It will be there as long. Your clothes may go off, but your skin allergy will not go off. So that is why one should be careful when you give your dresses even to a Dobie. Now look at here. The upper eyelid, a nail polish, and eyelashes. You color it variously, isn't it? With various ways, nail polish, that eyelashes, eyebrows, for many things. To appear yourself beautiful or handsome, you may do these things, but the chemicals in that one may cause allergy. So, is it necessary to use all these things? And if you go to the young kids, and nowadays we are seeing the young kids are also, we are encouraging to, they are fascinated. They are also fascinated. They appear to be very smart, very beautiful or handsome. In TV, they appear to be, right, even in TVs, you have seen the young kids applying and dressing with various such type of cosmetics. It may cause allergy. Now, if something falls into your eyes, some dust particle or something falls into your eyes, so if you go to an ophthalmologist or an eye specialist, right, a minimum consultation fee is 150 rupees to 200 rupees. Who will give? Instead of that one, take some neomycin eye drops, which is coming for just for 10-20 rupees if you send, add it into your eyes, so the dust will go off. That is what self-medication you will do it. But sometimes such type of things may cause allergy. Look at this. Neomycin eye drops has caused the allergy around his eyes. It is called periorbital edema medically. Anyway, that is not required. So I am telling you how allergy is going to be developed around. So that is why self-medication is not good. So you should always go to a doctor, even if it is a small problem. A good doctor in the concerned field, you should go and get proper treatment. And all the jewelry that you wear may not be what? Useful to you. Sometimes wearing of a nickel, wearing of a silver, wearing of gold may cause allergy. See, look at that. Nickel earring, metals, they are all metals. They may be allergic to your what? Ears. Even around necklace, some are having, they will be having allergy around their neck. So these are all the daily ways that we are normally seeing among the individuals who suffer from allergy. Sometimes when you are studying in your home or room, look at the four corners of your room or home, or even a library or in a classroom. So at the corner, if there is a moisture, you will see the development of small blackened structures, right? Black coloration of the wall will be there. Why it is so? It is due to the growth of fungus, especially aspergillus. Aspergillus fungus will be growing in a moist wall, especially in the corners. This you can see when not properly what maintained the rooms on, and if there is no proper sanitation work, or if there is no proper what we can say the killing of the fungus etc inside a room, or moisture or vapor content is not being properly removed, or if there is stagnation of water on the terrace, so you can see leakage of water from the terrace. So you will, with all these things, you will see the four corners of a wall inside a room may become a growing site for growth of many fungus. And one such fungus that grow is the what? Aspergillus. And this aspergillus multiplies and liberate the spores inside that room, and it is microscopic. It is not visible to your naked eyes. If you sit and reading, if you continuously inhale inhale, those spores may enter into your nose and it may cause allergy. So it is called sinusitis. It is called sinusitis. So allergic to the fungal. So these are the fungi which are growing on the what? Walls, on the walls at the corners of a home or a library if it is not being properly maintained. So that is why see that such type of fungal growth due to moisture content should not be there in a room or home. Otherwise, millions of spores, millions and millions of spores are being released. These are all the spores. This is the fungus. It is the spore producing organ called sporangium, which liberates black spores, which get fly in the air. And if your home or room is not properly ventilated, they may get deposited and they may be freely moving in air. And if you inhale that air, so you may develop a fantastic nose like this. Okay. So that allergy may be due to your what? Indoor environment. Now this person who has come in contact with Parthenium plant, Congress weed, they say, Congress Ulu. Sorry, Parthenium weed. So he has developed allergy all over his body like this due to the touching of the Parthenium plant. Now, this is due to the usage of the hair dye. Hair dye. He has developed the what? Allergy. And look at this individual has developed contact dermatitis. It is due to the chemicals present in the rubber in a footwear. In a footwear. Normally, what we do, if you go to a company like Bata or somewhere else like that, they display 999 rupees is or 699 rupees like that. So instead of going for those footwears, sometimes what people will do is that, so they go for a footpath footwear. Footwears which are being what sold in a footpath or a pavement, isn't it? So there it is cheaper. For 20 rupees, 100 rupees, you get a slipper. So very damn cheap. But remember, those footwears which have been made from recycled materials, if they have been not properly treated and recycled into a product, so the chemicals present in that may cause allergy. It may cause allergy. This is due to footwear, another type of contact dermatitis. Among cashew nut workers, we know that they remove the seed coat, hard nut shell, and then they remove the nuts, godambi, bidspekare, from its fruit. So the fruit will be having oil contents, and that oil may be allergic. So instead of using the gloves, if you do not use the gloves properly, and then if you use it, the many such organic compounds that are present, oily materials, may become allergic to your hands. This is commonly seen among the cashew nut factory workers, such type of allergy when they do not use the gloves. Now, once again, this is allergy due to the slipper straps of the slippers, right? Wherein the entire skin has been appears as if it is peeled off, it has become colorless, right? There is no pigmentation in the skin. Look at here. So right? Hypopigmentation, like all these things have been resulted once again due to such type of wear of the slippers. And look at here, we have got the habit of applying nail polishes, isn't it? Either to hands or legs. Even what we can say, lipsticks. Many of the ladies will apply lipsticks. Lipsticks, you know it is made up of the flesh of pig. Most of the lipsticks are made from the flesh of the pig, whatever it may be. But these nail polishes or lipsticks, etc., in addition with certain chemicals, right? They are going to make a combination and prepare all these things. And when it is being applied, it may become allergic. So this will be there throughout the lifetime. You need not have to apply any more nail polish. To that extent, it will be there as a permanent. So likewise, we are seeing nowadays, people will apply cheek red. cheek red on their cheeks. For small kids, we are exposing. Once it so happened that I asked a small school going individual, why do you apply this lipstick, cheek red, and all these things? The child replied, my ma'am will come like this. So she told me you should dress up and come neatly like me. That's why I'm also going like my ma'am, she said, the child. See, we are training our lifestyle. We are molding our children to use all these things, and we are exposing the children instead of for their natural health, natural beauty. So we are making artificially exposing our child to all these chemicals, and we ourselves are inducing such type of allergy even among children. So when you develop allergy, it may be on your skin, rashes may be developed, scaly patches, blisters, swellings, and sometimes some mucus-like materials will be oozing out. So all these things are the symptoms of allergy. Sometimes even for certain injections, that is why before advocating penicillin injection, they give a dosage. If it becomes allergic, then they will stop it. So certain chemicals, drugs, they are also maybe allergic to your body. And after eating meals or something else, lunch and etc., in conferences or in functions, so we always take the wipes, isn't it? We take the wipes, tissue paper, we take and wipe our mouth, and sometimes it's the same. We are going to wash our face, clean our face, etc. We do it. Baby wipes, even. So if you can use such type of things, how it become allergic? See, by usage of the baby wipe, you look at it, how it has become allergic. So that means in our life, day-to-day life, whatever that we are using, whether it may be drugs or cosmetics or soap, or it may be any product, including even food, it may cause allergy. It may cause allergy. Say, this lady wants to become beautiful, applied beauty cream. Now she is a permanent beautiful lady. She is with this type of patches on her body. See, all these things. So they are all very powerful, very irritating, very much irritating, very much scratching. You feel of scratching every time. So you can't scratch it. It may lead to the formation of sores or wounds. So all these things are going to be resulted. Okay, because certain chemicals are being added, like this is an example I'm showing you. Methyl isothiazolinone is a chemical that is being used as a preservative in all these things. So that is why one should not become every day addict to what? Make up themselves with these type of chemicals. Sometimes food may become allergic. So if you eat cashew nut or badam, almond, you may become allergic. So you should not take too much also. If you feel that your child is allergic to these things, you should not feed the child with such type of foods. So if a child is crying, normally we give the child, when you are in a journey, you will be chatting, very seriously you will be chatting. If a child cries, you know what you will do? You will immediately pick up kurkure or lace and give it to the child. And you do not know that kurkure or lace, they contain azinomoto and other chemicals, preservatives, which may become allergic and dangerous to your child. That we do not practice. That is why when you eat such type of things, and you should observe always the skin of the child on chest or back or face elsewhere. If it develops small blisters like this, you should be sure that the child is developing some allergic to things. So you should try to monitor what type of food it is eating. And sometimes if it is due to soap, you should change the soap. Sometimes, because nowadays the children are having this attitude of using the junk food, right? Baby corn manchuri, that manchuri, gobi manchuri, like this. Oil that they are using, say, every day they do not use the fresh oil, the recycled oil. Today what they use, if it is left out, next day they will use, next day they will use. So various chemicals that are released in that oil due to various boiling, it may become allergic to your child. So thus, even environmental changes like global warming, climate change, pollution, and poor nutrition. So all these things may lead to like all these allergies and various diseases. So what should be your food style? So you should eat more of vegetables, fruits, and other clean food. Okay, and you should avoid the junk foods. You should avoid junk food like burgers, pizzas, and what the other whatever the type of that junk food you will come across, that you should avoid it. Fresh fruits is always good for the health. That is the lifestyle. So these are a few suggestions that I have made. What are the types of food that we use? And we have got this habit of whenever there is a party, we always offer thumbs up, 7 Up, Coca-Cola, all these aerated drinks we provide. Suppose instead of that one, if you arrange in a conference or in a function of a school or a college with what? Chitrana, Mosana, colored rice, your indigenous food, if you encourage, nothing will happen to your health. Instead, it is not at all a party. Party means you should arrange all these things, including boozing and other things, hi-fi drinks, you should arrange. And there should be burger, there should be pizza. Likewise, this is what is the modern lifestyle that we are seeing. And they have forgotten that, and we feel that we are all educating. Neither we are educating ourselves nor we are educating our children with what should be the lifestyle with respect to our food. So with all possible types of pollution and our lifestyle, we are changing our environment, we are changing our climate. So ultimately it leads to the various types of health hazards. So if you want to be healthy, so what you should do? What are the solutions to all these things that you feel? So one should have the good habits and clean habits of eating, exercising, meditating. If you do all these things, you can keep yourself fit and healthy. Otherwise, no, you will be unhealthy. So if you want to build a world in which each one of us should live with hygienic environment, safe, adequate water, and sanitation, we should stress upon our all our requirements in a sustainable living healthy manner, in a healthy sustainable health. What is sustainable health? That means you should also live happily and we should also live happily, and our surrounding entities, living entities also should be happy, without any diseases, without any problems, without any disorders. To that extent, we should keep our environment clean. So then only it is possible to have a wonderful life. Otherwise, you will be developing lot of allergy. Now, sometimes you will go for morning walk, isn't it? Morning walk, why do you go? To breathe in fresh air, you will say. After breathing in fresh air, suppose you get tired, you will sit below a tree. Oh, and you will turn upside looking at, oh, so many flowers, beautiful tree. What a beautiful flower it is there. Never do that one. Never sit below a flowering tree in the early morning hours, because early morning hours, especially just before sunrise or during sunrise, the pollen grains are released from the flower. Those pollen grains are freely moving in air, and if you inhale that pollen grains, it may become allergy. If it falls on your skin, it may become allergic. So likewise, we should know how to practice our lifestyle and adapt ourselves for a better life and a healthy life. So I sincerely thank all of you for your patient listening, and I try to give the gist of information in a simplified manner without going into the too much of technical details of the mechanism of the diseases or the health hazards caused due to the pollution or allergens. So if you have got any doubts, if you got any clarifications, you are at most welcome to interact with me. And once again, I would like to thank Dr. Nanjun Swami for having given me an opportunity to share a few things related to this concept as well as biodiversity with all of you. And also, I thank the director of MHRD. And also, I thank all of you for your patient listening. Thank you all, and you can interact with me for any of your doubts.
Thank you, sir.
And I don't know how best I could able to convey the concept of this human health due to pollution and the lifestyle. Okay, but my sincere feeling is that being you are all the faculty members, you can definitely inculcate among the children for a better way of lifestyle, with especially with respect to their dressing, cleaning, and drinking water, taking in food. So never expose your child. Once in a while, if he eats a burger or a pizza, nothing may happen. But making a child become addict to a chocolate, addict to pizza, burger, no, likewise almonds, cashew nuts, so likewise. So for example, if you feel that your child is fond of almond, so instead of giving directly the almond seeds, you soak them in water overnight, remove the outer skin, and then give the cotyledons or the nuts. That will be healthy. That will not cause, because most of the allergy causing chemicals will be released and will be diluted in the water when you soak it. So such type of measures also one can take care of. And my humble request with uh, lady teachers or madams, that please never encourage your children to become regularly 30 days 24 into 7 to become addict for fashionable way of going to the classes with cosmetics, because they are quite young. They have to live for a long period of time. I want them to live for a long time, and they should be healthy, and they should not be allergic to any of these cosmetics. So they let them be, because whatever the lifestyle that they adopt with the clean thinking, clean heart, good way, naturally you should say that they are beautiful with their thing, beautiful with their heart, beautiful with their mind. So that is what I feel. Don't mistake me, but because nowadays I am seeing that most of the younger generation are being diverted, because it is the females who can definitely mold the individuals better than the males. I feel it is not gender bias. It doesn't mean that gents don't do it. Okay, yes, please, if there is any questions and any thing to be discussed, you can ask me.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. Shankrama. I'm working in JSS-HR. My area of interest is wastewater treatment using nanoparticles. So I took that area because there are one very good inspirational story is there behind that. I don't want to explain in here. So what I felt is, your session is really very good, sir. What I felt is we are all educated and we are fight for very big things.
Yeah.
We are not going to teach the students or surroundings with the environment.
Yeah.
So though it is there in academia, so we are failed to explain the things.
Yeah.
It is my perspective. It is the biggest failure of the development of our nation.
No, I mean, I agree. So what I feel is that, see, we are all good at preaching, madam. We are good
Exactly.
but we are not good at practicing. So I will tell you the simplest example. Many VIPs or so-called VIPs, they stand on the dais and they say, oh, you protect the environment, you grow the trees, oh, that will happen, your lifestyle should be like this, and all these things they will say. And the same fellows, if there is a function, they do not eat your lemon rice or curd rice. They are ready to eat other stupid things, and you should arrange for a high-fi party. That's one thing. If you encourage your indigenous food, you are encouraging your farmers. Basically, if lemon rice is going to be done, you are encouraging a farmer who grows lemon. Instead of being supplying 7-Up, Thumbs Up, and all these ups and making the individuals to go up, you arrange for a freshwater juice, melon juice. So you tender coconut. So Mosambbi juice, orange juice, you are encouraging your farmers who are growing all these fruits. So, Ithara lifestyle we are not seeing. That is where now Westerners, I will tell you, I have attended many international conferences. Westerners are trying to practice our Indian culture, but our Indians are going to dogs. I'm using this word. They are going to dogs to follow their Western culture. And I have seen in many parties, there were to be both vegetarian and non-vegetarian food. Okay, forget about even food, it is their personal habit. But even in international conference, they used to keep the fresh fruit juices on one side and the heavy drinks on other side. Long queue among Indians will be there among those places where there are heavy drinks. Fresh fruit juice, ಅದೇನೋ ಶರ್ಬತ್ ಮನೇಲೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಮನೇಲೆ ಕುಡಿಬಹುದು. ಅದು ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲ್ಡ್ ಶರ್ಬತ್ತಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರಿಗೆ.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಈಗಿನ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್, ನಾನು ಕೋಕಾ ಕೋಲಾ ಪೆಪ್ಸಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಫುಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್.
That is why I told you lifestyle. We should teach right from the young to the kids. We should teach what is the real lifestyle for a better health, for a better health. ಈಗ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆನೂ ಆಫರ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಪಿಜ್ಜಾ ತಂಡ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕೋಕ್ ಫ್ರೀ, ಒಂದು ಇದು ತಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಫ್ರೀ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಡಿಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್. ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಆಯ್ತಾ. ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ತರ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಪಲಾವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ತರ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ, ಏನೇನ್ ತಿಂಡಿಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಇಂಡಿಜಿನಸ್ ಫುಡ್, ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ, ಚಪಾತಿ, ಗೋಧಿ ಮುದ್ದೆ, ಜೋಳದ ರೊಟ್ಟಿ, ಈ ತರದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಲ್ತಿ ಫುಡ್ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆನೆಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೀಕಿಂಗ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, between the age of 20 and 22, 24, many people are now becoming diabetic, number one, and they are becoming allergic to food also. Our intestine, gastroenteritis, intestinal problems, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. I have seen, for example, 10 years back, more than I think 40% of that patients in JSS hospital were occupied by the teenaged individuals who are aging between 18, 20, 22. They are all, and ಅವ್ರ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಬಡ್ಕಂತಿದ್ರು, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮನೆ ಊಟ ತಿನ್ನೋದ್ರೆ ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ gastrointestinal problems and allergics, all these things. So likewise is the lifestyle that is ruining them. And that is how the average lifespan of Indian has come down to around 62 years now, whereas that of an American, he lives for around 82 years. We live for 62 years. And Indians' lifestyle and food is considered to be the best one worldwide. It is appreciated by many people. Okay. And in addition to that, we are having all these resources at our home. ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, we should encourage our farmers and we should encourage our indigenous crops, indigenous food style, so indigenous way of living. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ದಲೆ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮಾಡರ್ನೈಸಿಂಗ್. ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ನು ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ ಕೊಡ್ದಾರ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹೊಡೆದಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಅದು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ದನ ಕಾಯಕ್ ಹೋಗು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹಾಳಾಗ ಹೋಗು ಅಂತ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಏನ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೂಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಬೈಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಕಾರ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರ? ಎಂಥದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಹುಡುಗರು ಮೆಂಟಾಲಿಟಿನೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಅವ್ರು ತಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಮುಂದೆನೋ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಥಿಯೇಟರ್ ಮುಂದೆನೋ ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸೊ ನಡೆಯೋದ್ ಕಲಿಸ್ರಿ, ವಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ ಕಲಿಸ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಈವನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಕುಕ್ಕರಳ್ಳಿ ಕೆರೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅವರ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ 4 kilometers 3 kilometers ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಾರು, ಬೈಕು, ಎಲ್ಲದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಕಿಂಗ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಫಾಸಿಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೀಟೆಡ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ಏರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕುಕ್ಕರಳ್ಳಿ ಕೆರೆ ದಡದ ಮೇಲೆ 10 ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೊಡೆದೆ, 20 ರೌಂಡ್ ಹೊಡೆದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ಕಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಾಕಿರ್ತಾಳೆ, ತಿಂದು ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಬೊಜ್ಜು, same obesity, same idu. Once again you want to walk. See, instead of doing that one, why can't you walk down 4 kilometers and go back 4 down? You can minimize pollution, you can maintain your health, alva. Obesity elladu hogutte. Idu madodilla ನಾವು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆನು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಟ್. ಅವರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಒಬ್ಳು ಮೇಡ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು. ಮೇಡ್ ಸರ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಬರ್ದಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಕೈ ಕಾಲು ಆಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೈ ಕಾಲು ಆಡೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಜಗತ್ತೇ ಸತ್ತೋಯ್ತೇನೋ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ ಆಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಡಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ವಿತೌಟ್ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲೀಡ್ ಎ ಬೆಟರ್ ಲೈಫ್. ದೇರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್, ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್, ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಡಿಬೇಟಬಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್. ಬಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು, ಇನ್ ಎ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ವೇ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಇಟ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ, ನೀವು ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಯಾಕೆ ಕಸ ಹೊಡೀರಿ, ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಒಗಿರಿ, ಪಾತ್ರೆಗಳು ತೊಳಿರಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಯೋಗಾಸನಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೈ ಎತ್ತು ಒಗಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ತಿಕ್ಕಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 2 ಕೈ, ಬಗ್ಗಿ ಕಸ ಹೊಡಿಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, ಎದ್ದಾಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಪರ್ ಮಂತ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ವೀಕ್ಲಿ 3 ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಯೋಗಾಸನ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಕೈ ಸ್ಟಿಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕೈ ಕಾಲು ಆಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Day to day, every day you should exercise with your day to day work. That itself is sufficient, morning till evening. And we feel that, oh, time illa. 24 hours in a day. If you question yourself, if you introspect yourself, how many hours you are spending for reading, studying, attention of family, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೇಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ಟಿವಿ ಮುಂದೆ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಮುಂದೆ, ಚಾಟಿಂಗ್ ಮುಂದೆ, ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ನಮ್ದ 24 hours ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅವರ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೀತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಹೊರತು ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ರೈಟ್ ವೇ, ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಸ್ ವೇ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಟು ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಕಲ್ಕೇಟ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಯಂಗ್ ಏಜ್ ಇಂದನಾರು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ನನಗೇನೋ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅ ರೇ ಆಫ್ ಹೋಪ್ ದಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಮೇಡ್ ಇಟ್. ದೇ ಮೇಕ್ ದರ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಟು ವಾಕ್ ಡೌನ್. ಈವನ್ ನಾನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ಲಿ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈವನ್ ನನ್ನ ಮಗ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ಅಂತೀನಿ. ಐ ನೆವರ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಈವನ್ ಎ ಬೈಸಿಕಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಹಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ವಾಕ್ ಡೌನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಕೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್, ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಯೂಸ್. ನಾವ್ ಇವತ್ತು ದೋಸೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ರುಬ್ಬುತ್ತೀವಿ, ತರಕಾರಿ ದಿನ ಯಾರು ಹೋಗೋರು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದ್ ವಾರಕ್ಕಾಗಷ್ಟು ತರಕಾರಿ ತರ್ತೀವಿ, ಹಾಳಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ರೆಫ್ರಿಜರೇಟೆಡ್ ಫುಡ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತ್, ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೀ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ 3 days ಹೋಗಿ ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ತಕೊಂಬಂದು ತಿಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಏನು ಆಗೋದು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು. ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳದಲ್ಲ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಅದು ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ತಂದಾಗಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ದೋಸೆ ಹಿಟ್ಟಿಂದ ತುಣುಕು ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಂಗಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಈ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಆ ರೀತಿ. ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು, ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನೋ ಯೂಸ್. ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ರೆಫ್ರಿಜರೇಟರ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಏರ್ ಕೂಲರ್, ಏರ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ಮನೆ ಸುತ್ತ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು, ಗಿಡಗಳನ್ನ ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ, ವಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಜಿನಸ್ ಫುಡ್. ಯಾವ ಡಿಸೀಸು, ಯಾವ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಸುಳಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹೆಲ್ತಿ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಮೋರ್ ರಿಚ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಎಲ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಪೀಪಲ್ ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಹೆಂಗಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ನೋಡಿದೀನಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ, ಇರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸನ ನಾಳೆ ಇರ್ತೀವ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಇವತ್ತು ಹೊಡಿಯೋ ಮಾರಯ್ಯ, ಹೊಡಿಯೋ ದುನಿಯಾ ಮಾಡೋಣ ನಡಿಯೋ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇವತ್ತು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕುಡಿದು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ತಿಂದು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಟಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿದ್ದು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯವ್ರು ಬಂದು ಎತ್ತಾಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಲಿವರ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಯ್ತೋ ಇನ್ನೇನಾರು ಆಯ್ತೋ ಆಸ್ಪತ್ರೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು, 2 ಲಕ್ಷ 3 ಲಕ್ಷ ಏನಾಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರ ಆಸ್ತಿ, ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ಉಳಿಸಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಾಲನೋ ಸೋಲನೋ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವ ಒತ್ತೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಳನ್ನ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಮಕ್ಳು ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇರ್ ತಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ right from the childhood, it is how we the parents, we take care of the children and monitor them till they grow up. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಮಾಡೋರು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ತನಕ ತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವರು ಕೆಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸ್ಪಾಯ್ಲ್ಡ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಲ್ ಪವರ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು. ಆ ವಿಲ್ ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಇಟ್. ಸಾರಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ವಿಚ್ ಐ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು. ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾಗೇಶ್ ಸರ್, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಡೌಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ?
ಸರ್ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ಆ ವಿಚಾರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ಸೆಡ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನೆಗ್ಲಿಜೆನ್ಸಿಯನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಯೂಸೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಯೂಸೇಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಅವುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅವುಗಳಿಂದ ಆಗುವಂತಹ ಅಡ್ಡ ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಿಂದಾನೆ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವೇ ತಂದು ಕೊಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅವುಗಳು ಚಿಕ್ಕದ್ರಲ್ಲೇನೆ ನಾವು ಚಿವುಟಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಅವು ಪರವಾಗಿ ಏನೋ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರಿ ಸರ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಂಗರ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್, ಈಗ ನಾವುಗಳು ಬಂದಂತಹ ಬೆಳೆದಂತಹ ರೀತಿಗೂ ಈಗ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ರೀತಿಗೂ ಬಹಳ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಇದೆ. ಈಗ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇನ, ಈಗ ಅನಕ್ಷರಸ್ಥರಾದಂತಹ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಅಕ್ಷರವನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು. ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಕ್ಷರಸ್ಥರಾದಂತಹ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳ, ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎಜುಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳೇ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಕೈಗೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ 24 hours into 7 ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಕೈಲಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಡ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ.
ಹೌದು
ಹೋಟ್ಲ್ಗಳ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಇದೇ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೀನ್ ಇದೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಇಂಥದ್ದೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕು,
ಹೌದು.
ಈ ಡ್ರಿಂಕ್ಸ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಈ ಬರ್ಗರೇ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಚೀಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಸ್ಕೋ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ
ಹಾ.
ಸೋಯಾ ಸಾಸ್ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಕೋ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹಾಕ್ಸಿ ಕೊಡ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ 3ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಓದಿದಂತಹ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅರಿವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಹೇಗಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಗ್ ನಾವು ಬದುಕ್ತಿವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಇವತ್ತು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿ PhD ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಆ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಅನ್ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬೈ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ಹೆಲ್ದಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ಬಹಳ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಕೊಟ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಸರ್ ಅದು. ಸೊ ನಾನು
ಇದೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಸರ್, ಇದೇನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲಿಟ್ರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ್ಲೇನೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಈಗ ಲೈಫ್ ಹಾಳಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
We couldn't call them as illiterate, sir. They are well educated.
ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದೇನು? ಹೌ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಲೀವ್, ಹೌ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್. ಆ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಮೇಡಮ್. ನಾವ್ ಏನೇ ದುಡಿದ್ರು ಆ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಸರ್? ಸೊ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೆಂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಗುಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದಟ್, ಇದನ್ನ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಬಿಡು ಇವ್ನ ಯಾರೋ ಗಾಂಧಿ, ಇವನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಗಾಂಧಿ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಡೆತ್ ಬೆಡ್. ಅದು ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್. ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಪ್ಯಾಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಹೌದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ನನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸರ್.
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರಕಾರಿಗಳು, ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದು ಸರ್.
ಆದ್ರೂ ತುಂಬಾ ತರಕಾರಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ತಗೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಬೆಳೆದಿರ್ತದೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಹೆಲ್ತ್
ಸರ್ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳಿದ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ತರಕಾರಿ ತಿಂದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಆದಷ್ಟು ಅಂತಿದೆ ಇದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈಗ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗು, ಝೀರೋ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ತರಕಾರಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅದ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಜ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಒನ್ಸೆಗೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಗ್ರೀಡಿನೆಸ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ? ಕಡಿಮೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಈಲ್ಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ಬೇಗ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಕಡಿಮೆ ಈಲ್ಡ್ ಇರಬಾರ್ದು, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಈಲ್ಡ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕು, ಬೇಗ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ಬೇಕು. ಈ ತರ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನು ಮಿಸ್ಗೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ನಮ್ಮಂತ ಜನಗಳೇ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಕುರಿ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ, ಸಗಣಿ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಈ ತರದವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದನಿಗೆ ದಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ವಿ. ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಟೂಲ್ಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀವು ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನ ಎಂಕರೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಸ್ಟೈನಬಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ತಿ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ನ ನೀವು ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪೆಸ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಕೊಲ್ಲಕ್ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರಪ್ಪ ಪೆಸ್ಟಿಸೈಡ್. ಯಾಕೆ? ನೀಮು ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಬೇವಿನ ಹಿಂಡಿಯಿಂದಾನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಏನೋ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಟೈಪ್ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡೋರು. ಈಗ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡರ್ನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸಿಂಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಗಿಡನೂ ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸಾಯಿಲು ಹಾಳಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಗ್ರೈನ್ಸ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಈಗ ತರಕಾರಿ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ಲಿ ಸೊಪ್ಪಲ್ಲಾಗ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಿಂತೀವಿ.
Sir, actually, advertisement agencies are the main culprit.